Guys, so this video, as you can tell by the title, probably a very long title, is about facing my fears in a simple way and a not so simple way. Simple way. So I'm going to start with that way first. I just got back from 2 days at Disney, which was a lot of fun. We went to Hollywood Studios and then Animal Kingdom, and at Hollywood Studios, I rode Slinky Dog Dash because it looked like a lot of fun. If you guys haven't followed me for a while, or even if you have, I am not a roller coaster person. My sister kind of like convinced me to get on Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens years ago. And I pretty much thought that I was going to meet my maker, okay? Like, that is how much I hate roller coasters. So I got on Slinky Dog Dash because I was like, that's a kiddie, like more of a kiddie coaster. I mean, it was pretty fast, but it wasn't like big hills or anything like that, and I had so much fun. So then I was like, now, prior to that, I got on Space Mountain, and I also thought I was going to be my maker. So I was like, I don't know. But we went to Animal Kingdom yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to ride Everest. I don't know what compelled me to think that I wanted to ride it because it's an 80-foot drop. It has a backward section in the dark, which is why I hated Space Mountain. A forward section in the dark, and also just like, I don't like heights, and the chain lift, you're just looking straight down at the abyss. But I was like, you know what? I am going to ride Everest. And the reason that I first thought about it is because I love the theming of the ride, right? Theming is just pure perfection. I love the theming. So I was like, I got to face my fears. I'm going to do it. So I was shaking in the line. It was like a 20-minute wait. I was shaking in the line, literally hands shaking, legs shaking, a little bit lightheaded just from the anxiety of like, what am I doing to myself? And then when I got up to the front, I asked the cast member, I was like, can I sit in the middle, please? So I waited for the next empty train to come in. We sat in row 9 and strapped down, absolutely terrified. The first little bit of the ride is just very smooth. If you watch like a ride through on YouTube, very smooth, very easy. I enjoyed that. We go up the chain lift, and I'm like, well, here we go. And we get to the top where we hit the backward section, and I have fun. I had so much fun. I screamed at the top of my lungs at the one point in the backward section when you hit the backward double helix and you feel all the G-forces. I screamed. But then we made the switch around, and I was nervous about like, oh, here comes the 80-foot drop, but I didn't even barely feel it. It was just fun. Like, I screamed that time just out of pure fun, and then we went, finished around, and when we came back, I was just so happy. I was like, I want to ride this again. Like, that was so much fun. So it was like facing my fears led to me now having like a new favorite ride at Disney World, right? So that kind of ties into the bigger decision I decided to make today. So, I didn't make this decision just because I had fun on a roller coaster at Disney World. I've been thinking about it for a week, but like, it kind of ties in. So, if you know, when I left the hospital about a week ago, last Thursday, we had these discussions about possibly stopping my friend Trikafta here that has given me 6 years of amazingness, and switching to AliTrek, I don't know how to pronounce it, the new modulator that came out last year. And when we discussed it last week, my first thought was just immediately no. Trikafta has given me 6 years of stable lung function, and symptomatically until recently, CF was like background noise. Well, that's not the case anymore. Since leaving the hospital, and even in the hospital, even before the hospital, we talked about, for one, Trikafta can cause worse blood sugars. And we all know I struggle with my blood sugar. But just symptomatically, I'm not sick, right? Like, we cleared the lung infection. But going upstairs, I get out of breath. Morning treatment, I'm coughing. Walking around Disney, I kept feeling very tight-chested and just like trying to take a deep breath, and I couldn't. I was still able to do it. Like, I walked 10 miles over 2 days, and I walked Tux this morning. But it's not the comfortable, easy breathing that it was before. Even sitting here now, well, I wouldn't say I'm short of breath. I am not breathing easy. And we talked about this in the hospital, which was kind of a hard conversation to have, that while my health is not in danger, I Trikafta might have taken me as far as it can. Trikafta might have given me 6 years of awesomeness, but it might be time to say, hey, this isn't working like it used to anymore. You could be starting a decline. You're in the hospital more. Maybe we need to do something about this. And like I said, my first thought was just immediately no. But I gave it more thought, and I thought about it for a week and weighed the pros and the cons and talked to my doctors about it, and I've decided I'm going to switch. I'm going to stop Trikafta at some point. We have to work on insurance, so I'm going to just keep taking Trikafta like normal until the new one arrives. Then I will switch, and we'll go from there. I have to have 6 months of blood work each month. I had to do that for Orkambi. I had to do that for Trikafta. I have to do it for this one. If for some reason it gives me bad mental side effects, because Orkambi gave me really bad depression, like horrible depression, and Trikafta did not, then I'll switch back. If I don't like the way my lungs feel, I'll switch back. If it takes my PFTs for whatever reason, I'll switch back. If it makes my blood sugar worse, I'll switch back. It's not like it has to be a permanent decision. It's not like all or nothing. Like if you stop Trikafta, you can never go back, right? Like if I don't like it, which, I have to give it a couple of months, right? If I don't like it, I can always go back to what I know has worked. But it could take away these symptoms that I'm starting to have again. It could improve my blood sugar, because ironically, Trikafta is known to lower blood sugar, which is great for people with diabetes, but not for my situation. It could take away some of the anxiety that Trikafta does give me. Like, I don't have the horrible depression, debilitating, can't function feelings like I had on Orkambi, but I do have an uptick of anxiety on Trikafta. It's manageable. I live with it, but it could take that away, right? So I'm at the point now where I'm willing to accept the risk. Is it a risk? Yes. It could possibly tank my PFTs, and Trikafta couldn't recover. It could possibly give me like an emergency situation with my blood sugar. But it could also give me my quality of life back. It could give me not struggling to breathe while walking around Disney. It could give me what Trikafta gave me that Trikafta can't anymore. So we're going to take this new journey together, guys. And just like the roller coaster, one step at a time, strap in for the ride and see what happens. And maybe I'll end up loving it.